Hey everybody, it's Michael, aka the movie ads guy. I'm back after a few weeks taking off, but yeah, let's just get right into it. So, in January, so far in the first 2 weeks of January, there weren't a lot of new movie news that came out. There was a lot of mini news for movies like Bad Boys 3. It was Bad Boys 3, Bad Boys for Life, yeah. Something came out this week about Chucky, and of course, all the Super Bowl movie trailers came out yesterday. My favorite, personally, being Toy Story 4. But I just want to take this time to talk about the Bud Light Game of Thrones collaboration because that was my favorite Super Bowl ad. And even though it's a TV show, it's still, you know, entertainment on the screen. So I guess it's kind of within the subject. So the thing about me is that I'm absolutely not a Game of Thrones fan. It's not because I hate it. It's just because I never got around to following the story, and I spent the last few years watching other shows like Daredevil and Breaking Bad, and most recently The Good Place. That's actually a pretty good show. So I've heard a few critiques about this that it didn't really make people want to drink Bud Light or didn't really get people excited for Game of Thrones. But for me, because I'm going in completely, unknowing about Game of Thrones, um, I thought it was like a pretty clever fake out to take this world that Bud Light created that was obviously inspired by the popularity of Game of Thrones and actually incorporate Game of Thrones in there. So for those of you who haven't seen the ad starts off with the Bud Knight, who's a mascot in all the Dilly Dilly ads for Bud Light, and he's basically about to do a joust, and all of the characters from the Bud Light Dilly Dilly ads were there. So you would go into this thinking it was a Bud Light ad. Somewhere in the middle, he gets killed by a big figure who I found out later was a character named the Mountain from the show. So Bud Light and the Mountain were jousting, and it was right after everybody said dilly dilly, and there was a lot of positive vibes going on, and then all of a sudden, the Bud Knight gets knocked off of his horse, and uh, actually, as a big surprise for the family-friendly Super Bowl, the Mountain goes over to Bud Knight when he's on the ground, and goes over and twists his neck or smashes his head. They kind of leave it up to the imagination. So that felt out of place already, and me thinking it was still a Bud Light ad, I was waiting for some kind of payoff. Maybe there was a Bud Light Lime night that would come out of nowhere and save the day, or maybe um, there would be a lime-a-rita party of knights that would come along and do something. But out of nowhere, this big CGI dragon comes out, and I thought Bud Light just spent a lot of money on this dragon because it was really big quality, and blew fire and killed everybody in the stadium. So I was already like, they went all out for this ad. I want to know where this is going. And at the end, they put Game of Thrones the final season, and turns out this wasn't a Bud Light ad at all. So to Game of Thrones fans, I don't know if this made you excited. To Bud Light fans, I don't know if it made you depressed that the Dilly Dilly campaigns is probably coming to an end after this. But to me, it was exactly what the Super Bowl is for. The thing about Super Bowl commercials is that they're not necessarily there to make you buy anything or to do anything. Like, when was the last time you saw a Super Bowl ad and actually went out to, do what the call of action wanted you to do? Probably never. Like, usually the Super Bowl is a chance for people to spend, for big companies to spend millions of dollars to just do something entertaining and stupid for people, and this fit the bill. Living in New York, you go to some subway stops and all you see is Game of Thrones ads. So you don't really need more information that the final season is coming out. So might as well just have a little bit fun with it. Plus, I like that this ad was a collaboration between two completely unrelated companies. Because last year they had the Tide ads. It's like, if you don't remember, it was the ads where it would be an ad for something like Old Spice or something else, and then it would be a fake out at the end saying that it's a Tide ad. But all of the products were owned by, I think, Procter and Gamble. So you know, it would make sense for all of those to come together. But the fact that Bud Light and Game of Thrones have nothing to do with each other, that basically made the payoff worth it. So yeah, that was quick, but that was my video for this week. And yeah, hopefully there's gonna be some big movie news I can talk about next week. But for now, this is what I got. So subscribe, comment, peace.